Stop button. Recording. 00 hours, 00 minutes, and 3 seconds. Record. Stop button. Screen locked.
Hello guys, good day. And muli po tayong nagbabalik para mag-update sa ating gameplay na Choice of the Trail. So, kung hindi ko nakakamali, episode 3 na siguro tayo, no? So, medyo matagalin tayong hindi nakapag-update sa laro na to. Kaya ngayon, updates natin para magkaroon na ng panibagong episode. So ngayon, simulan na natin, no? Para ano tawag dito? Yung may bago na naman kayong pwedeng mapakinggan. So ngayon, simulan na natin.
31 p.m. Recording. 00 hours. Pause button. Home button. Home screen. Screen 1 of 3.
Okay.
Clock. Dungeons and decisions. Drop. Community. CC. Chrome. Choices of the trail. Choices of the trail. Daily reward. Get 1 luck. Each daily reward. OK button. Equal. Library. More options button. Morale. 3 Moxie. 1. I immediately regret it. I don't believe what I'm seeing, but there it is my sister, locked in a romantic embrace with that older man. I've seen him at church some Sundays, and once in the general store. I had no idea Eliza was interested in him or anyone. Yet, here she is kissing him. My whole body flushes hot, and I duck back down behind the bushes. Finally, they say goodbye, and I frown at the dreaminess in Eliza's voice. She turns toward town, and I give her a few minutes head start before making any noise in the brush. I don't care that my underclothes are still wet, and I wrench my dress over my head. My plan was to get home when I normally would, but thanks to this new development, I'll be getting home about half an hour later than if I've been in school all day. Ma will be irritated if I'm behind on my chores. I break into a run, so by the time I come over the hill with our cabin on the horizon, sweat is dripping down the side of my face and my dress is wet where it's tightest against my underclothes. Bean Sprout, where's the fire? I skid to a stop and turn toward the voice. PA is sidling toward me, scythe over his arm, a bemused look on his face. Inside, with Ma, if she notices how late I am, I say with a sigh. He smirks. What kept you? I consider telling him the truth and at least a half-truth. I was at the creek, and I lost track of time and he wasn't as strict as Ma, and I know he wouldn't ask me 1,000 questions. Instead, I decide to come up with something better, just in case he was tempted to tell Ma on me. I stayed after school to help Ms. Birch clean up, I say, pushing the wet hair off my forehead. He raises an eyebrow and smirks. Quotation mark. Did you fall into a pail of water? He gestures to the damp patches on my dress where the undergarments have soaked through. I ran all the way home when I realized how delayed I was. I offer. I know he can tell the wetness on my dress is more than sweat, but he drops it with a grin. I don't know if he would mind my dip in the creek, but I know I could expect an earful if Ma found out even if I hadn't been late. You shouldn't be stripping down to your undergarments in public, Beth. You're not a child anymore, she'd scold. You better get inside then. I know she expects you to get the better going, PA says, nodding toward the cabin. Great, I think. I hate better day. I'm in no mood to sit on the porch on this muggy hot day and turn until my arms are numb. I push past PA, forgetting about the ink on my back. Beth, he starts, and I can hear the amusement in his voice. I stop and turn around. Quotation mark. What happened to your dress? I don't bother lying. It's purely Nathaniel's fault that I'm in this situation. Nathaniel draped at my braid into his inkwell, I say, raising my chin. Quotation mark. Why did he do that? He asks, sighing. It's as if he thinks the boy needed a reason to do it. As if I goaded him. Why else? He hates me and wanted to ruin my day. PA opens his mouth but promptly closes it, looking off to the cabin. Quotation mark. I'm going to leave this one up to Ma, though I'm not going to tell her. He walks off with a pointed look, and I'm grateful he won't rat me out. I know I won't be lucky enough to get the same reaction from her. I wonder if I can change into my other dress without her seeing, though climbing the ladder to my loft won't be easy. TGS rate. Paragraphs. TGS rate. 70. Default. Continue button. Voices of the Trail. Prequel. Library. More options. Morale. 3. I had in. Morale. 3 Moxie. 1. I head inside, where Ma is stirring a pot of rabbit stew on the fire. She doesn't turn when she hears me come in. Please keep watching the stew. I cry as I slink towards the ladder. Beth, I won't tolerate lollygagging, she reminds me. I still forward. We cannot put all of our work on hold because you're late for whatever reason. She looks over her shoulder, and I freeze, my back still to the wall. What kept you? I decide it's safest to repeat my lie to PA. Ma seems pleased enough with it. That was good neighborly of you, she says, nodding to her stew. Though, next time, perhaps you can help her when it isn't better day. I draw my lips into a thin line. If it were PA, I would take it as teasing. Ma, however, has only criticized me, it seems, since I turned 13 2 months ago. I apologize and she turns back to the stove. I know she'll turn around when she hears the ladder creak, so I tell her I'm going to change into a better dress for chores. She doesn't argue, just reminds me to hurry. I scramble up the ladder, glancing down to see her still looking away, and change into my work dress. I stuff my ink-stained one into my chest, wondering how I'm going to deal with it later. I hurry back down to the kitchen and take the cream out to the churn on the porch. I pour it in, then lean against a post and slowly move the plunger up and down. It doesn't take long for my dress to become soaked under my arms and my hair to stick to my face. The sun is beating down and it seems like it'll never set. Ma joins me on the porch, settling into the rocker with Pa's shirt to mend. I instinctively tilt my head so the braid with ink settled into the end doesn't show. We're silent for a moment, but something in my face must need responding to, because she sets her sewing down and sighs. Beth, must you look so nastily at the butter churn? Sorry, I mumble. It's just a miserable day for this. Perhaps if you'd been on time, you wouldn't be working in the hottest part of the day. It's poor logic, since I was only delayed an hour at most. I most certainly would still be working now. I would just be further along. I can't resist correcting her in my defense. Quotation mark. I hardly think my being late made a difference. I mutter. I know she'll scold me on my attitude, so I quickly bring up my sister. Where is Eliza? I know where she last was, of course, but I wonder what excuse she gave Ma before running off into the woods with a strange man. Ma picks up her sewing again. She went into town to look at the new bolts of fabric at Newman's, she says. Eliza's 16, and her lessons have stopped. She can luckily get her chores done in the morning, before the sun is at its most brutal. Of course, I know she didn't go into town at least, not just that. I'm tempted to mention Eliza's outing, if I can explain what I was doing hiding in the woods in the first place. There's no point bringing it up now but you better believe I'll be blackmailing Eliza with it later. Perhaps next better day she'll graciously step in and do it for me. I'm in the middle of crafting this plan when Ma shifts in her chair, setting Pa's shirt down to the porch planks. There's Miss Birch, she says, curiously. I wonder why she's visiting. Continue button. Equal. Library. Go back. More options. Morale. 3 Moxie. My stomach flips and I look off to where she's staring. Sure enough, there's my teacher coming up the hill. I see PA tip his hat to her, and she stops to say something, her hands moving busily in front of her. PA stands with his hands on his hips, shifting his weight back and forth. Then, he looks over to the porch. He gestures to Ms. Birch to follow him and no, they're heading this way. My grip slips on the churn handle and I fall forward slightly from my momentum. I know Ma is looking at me, but I'm focused on Pa's stride, refusing to so as much as glance at her. PA reaches the porch first, and I can't decipher his look. His hat shades the upper part of his face, and, normally, I can read his kind eyes like a book. Ms. Birch here has something interesting she'd like to talk with us about, he says, nodding back toward my teacher, who stands with her arms crossed over her chest, glaring at me, much like she did earlier in the schoolyard. For starters, she's here to discuss appropriate punishment for Beth after her actions today. He says this in a way that tells me he isn't aware yet of what I've done, exactly, and is probably just quoting how Ms. Birch approached him below. Ma looks at me quizzically and I know it's now or never. I can confess to my heathen-like behavior, or I can rely on Ms. Birch to ruin my reputation with her own version of the story. What do I do?
So, kailangan nating pumili dito. So, ito yung pagpipilian.
Confess to beating up Nathaniel. Button.
Okay.
Start with Ms. Birch's unfairness. Button.
Okay.
Wait to see what Ms. Birch has to say. Button.
Okay.
Prequel. 8. Start with Ms. Confess to beating up Nathaniel. Button. Start with Ms. Birch's unfairness. Button. Wait to see what Ms. Birch has to say. Button.
Okay.
Start with Ms. Confess to beating up Nathaniel. Button.
Siguro ito na lang. Yung confess.
Start with Confess to beating up Nathaniel. Button.
Okay.
Achievement unlocked. Super honest. Good for you. How's that working out for you? Points. 1 coin luck bonus. X2 coins. 1x2 equals 2 luck. 0x2 equals 0. Oops, please try again. Achievement. Super honest. Good. OK button. Super OK button. Voices of the Trail. Prequel. Lib. Go back. More option. Morale. 3 Moxie. 1. Moxie increases 1.
Okay.
Prequel. Library. Go back. More prequel. Library. Go back. Go back. Go back. Luck. 2. Art. Last checkpoint button. Load last checkpoint. Are you sure you want to load your last checkpoint for this book?
Okay. Load natin.
Last check. Are you sure? Cancel. OK button. No checkpoint you haven't reached. No checkpoint. You have OK button. Choices. Library. Go back. More. Prequel. Library. Back. Go back. Cancel button. Last choice. 1 luck. Go back to your. Go back. This costs. Cancel. OK button. Choices of prequel. Library. Go back. More. Morale. 3 Moxie. Prequel. By Michelle Kudelka. The moment my body Go straight home. Button.
Teka lang, parang bumabalik yata sa...
8-bit. Button.
Teka lang. Bumabalik yata sa simula, no? So... next upload natin dito. Hanapin natin yung... ibang choice, no? So, ngayon, updates lang to. So, bumabalik tayo sa simula, pero try natin tong Go Straight Home. Kasi, siguro, hindi tayo na, na tansya kung saan yung simula dito.
Preview button. Recent quick click 2 choices of the track recorder. 00 hours 13 minutes. Pause button.
So siguro hanggang dito na lang muna yung ating record o gameplay about dito. So next time try natin sa episode 4 yung Go Straight Home. Kasi naalala ko nung nagsimula tayo sa laro na to, so siguro with a bit yung pinili ko. So next time try natin yung Go Straight Home. So yun lang ngayon, magandang araw hanggang sa muli nating pag-upload sa episode 4 siguro. So yun lang ngayon, magandang araw.
Stop button.